Hello and welcome to the podcast. On today's podcast, I am here with my friend and roommate Ian Kowalski.
Hello.
Today, we're going to be talking about the benefits of traveling and why we think it is important for us as humans to travel internationally. So we got a few talking points that we're going to talk about today. First of which is we're going to give our insights on why we think it is important to travel. Next, we will talk about our own experiences with traveling internationally. And finally, we're going to give some advice to people who are hesitant to travel. And we're going to try and persuade them to travel. So,
Love that.
to start off, we are going to talk about the benefits and why we think it is important. So I'll start off with why I think it's important to travel. I think it's important for us as humans to see how other parts of the earth live, and I think it's important to experience different cultures and experience what they go through in their everyday lives. What about you? How do you feel about this?
I really like travel. I think that I've gotten the opportunity to travel to Europe a couple different times, and I like experiencing the culture and everything that goes along with it. So I've had a blast, and I really do think a lot of people should do it.
All right, I think that flows perfectly into our next talking point, which is our own personal experiences with travel. So I have been out of the country twice. I've been to the Bahamas a while ago, and recently I went to Europe, where I was in London and Paris for about a week. So I think going over there was one of the best experiences of my life. I thoroughly enjoyed going over there. And if I had the opportunity, I would most definitely go back because I think I learned a lot and gained a lot from it. What about you?
I've gotten the opportunity to go to Spain 3 separate times. I've also been to the Dominican Republic, as well as France and Italy. And I think, when I went to Spain, I lived with a family. I was an exchange student. And you learn a lot about not only the culture, but you learn a lot about yourself and, stuff that you enjoy and what you like to look for. So, for example, we lived in a city, and I really liked that aspect, and I would like to live in a city growing up.
All right, that is awesome. So finally, our third talking point is our advice for some people who are hesitant to travel. So according to a study done by the Pew Research Center, roughly 23% of Americans have not traveled internationally. So that is roughly 80 million Americans who have never been out of this country, and I think that is kind of concerning, and I think that needs to change. So some of our advice to leave the country is it's a great way to experience different cultures. You learn a lot about yourself. You learn a lot about others. And I personally feel that leaving the country for a little bit and exploring the world has made me a better person and has shaped me into who I am today.
I think leaving the country, it shows you what's out there. America is such a small part of the country that you don't really realize. Small part of the world that you don't really realize. We think it's so big, but when you go out there, so many people do stuff way different than how we do it, and it's nice to look at that and experience that.
All right, I agree. I agree with a lot of that. So that is all for this podcast. Thank you for listening, and I hope you took our advice and maybe implement it into yours. So thank you for listening, and have a great rest of your day.